Hey y'all, Mike with Cardboard Kingdom. Welcome back to another Disney Lorcana video. Today I am smiling through the pain because I recorded an hour-long video earlier about the state of Lorcana in like a this moment in time video, talking about the excitement of 2026 and Pixar and Worlds and Fabled and just like this powder keg that I feel like is building in terms of excitement and increased collectability and just all this exciting stuff going on. In combination with just looking at like current prices for sealed stuff, current prices for singles, and just like, March 31st, 2025, where are we, right? So we can look back on this video like a year from now or a couple years from now, 5 years from now, and really just soak in like what this time was, right? Like I want this to kind of be like a bookmark, if you will. So I recorded an hour-long video, longest video on my channel by a mile, going through some different products, talking just like what Lorcana means to me, and just really, just kind of going from the soul, right, for an hour long with no script, and I got to the end, and I had restarted my computer right before because it had an update and it was giving me an alert, and I'm like, I don't want this thing to keep popping up, so I did the update. Well, whenever I update my computer, my OBS like resets to the default microphone, and in this case there was none. So it went from my mic that I use for my videos to nothing. I recorded for an hour. Normally I like check it and whatever, but I did rookie mistake, and so I recorded for an hour of me just talking, and it went to Narnia. So F's in the chat for that. But I wanted to at least get something out today, right? I took yesterday off, and I was very, very close to saying, screw it, I'm not uploading anything today. But I did see an interesting Twitter post, and I wanted to pose the question to all of you. It was from Lorcana Finance, who I generally like as a follow. They're a good follow on Twitter. They let you know of like good deals that are happening and things like that. So by and large, good follow. I thought this poll was very interesting. They said, fill in the blank. Lorcana blank makes it to its 3-year release, August 18th, 2026. Essentially a year and some change from now. Obviously I said it will, because it obviously will, but almost 10% of the people that voted said it will not. Now that's only 66 votes, so it's a very small sample size. We're talking like not even 10 people that said no, right? So obviously the overwhelming amount of the community does see this as I do, that it will make it. But I do think that it's just interesting that, right now when we're in this lull of announcements and lull of DLC events and no finite, details or certain details about worlds. We're just people are really starting to stew on is Lorcana going to make it? And I think that is just absolutely insane. That's a crazy question to ask, and it's a crazy thing to think that it will not make it. Now look, I can't see the future, right? But it's everything's there in terms of the signs pointing towards the future. There's no reason to think that Lorcana is not going to make it. It absolutely will. And so I just thought that it was interesting that right now on a day where, when you look at some of the like singles, like Elsa is back to $1,000 for a near mint copy. The ones at $750 are like Japanese. Stitch is up at $500. First chapter booster boxes, Rise of the Floodborn, any sort of like collector set, etc., far exceeding value. Arcasia's Island is holding incredibly strong. There is 3 cases of Arcasia's Island on the market. This set came out 3 weeks ago. There's 3 cases on the market. Like absolutely, like the price stability of this stuff is absolutely insane. First chapter troves are up to like $350. There's so much going on that is like clearly, if you could like push the noise aside, 3 listings of starter decks on the market. Like if you can just like take a deep breath, take a step back, and like not let the noise get you, like it's so obvious that we're in just like a powder keg moment. And I constantly have 2 different voices on my shoulder talking to me. One is like, all right, you can see that things are poised to explode. And so you have these collection goals. You need to accomplish them before, said explosion happens, right? Because you might get priced out. But then the other part of me is like, you don't know when that's going to happen. It could be 24 months from now. Slow and steady wins the race. Don't take on leverage. Don't get to a point where you have to sell your collectibles. That's the long-term success formula. I know that, and so that is where I've continued to act and will continue to act. But that voice definitely does exist in me where I'm like, man, like I don't want to get outpriced of this stuff. Like I've been around since the beginning. Like I know what's capable. I can see what's coming, and I don't want to have cards that I couldn't get that might 2 to 3x and once again be out of my price, because a card like the Elsa is a card that we bought for $500. Elsa was $500 when I bought her. Have that copy. I got a 9 once. I cracked it. Never regraded it. This Elsa means a lot to me in my collection journey, because this is the card that got me and my daughter to begin opening packs. I looked at the card online, I showed it to my daughter, and we thought it was gorgeous, right? And so then we started opening packs, and we pulled that uncommon Elsa that like just completely changed everything. But then, this card means a lot to me, right? This is like the foundation of our at least introduction to Lorcana. Now it's grown leaps and bounds beyond just the Elsa, but this card means a lot to me. So like, this card that I paid $500 for, that's now $1,000, is, I have no interest in selling this card at all. And I wouldn't sell this card for like $5,000 in a market where it's worth $5,000. Like right now, sure, if someone came to my door and said, here's $5,000 cash for your Elsa, I would take it and then come back and buy 5 Elsas, right? So like, I would sell it in that sense, but like, assuming the market value of an Elsa was $5,000 right now or tomorrow, and that's just like the floor price, like I wouldn't sell this card for $5,000. This card has too much sentimental value to me and to my daughter, right? About what it just meant for us to begin this journey. And so I wouldn't pay $5,000 for it either. And so I have this like balancing act of like, I wouldn't pay $5,000 for an Elsa, but I wouldn't sell mine for $5,000 either. And so I want to have these cards just kind of like in our collection, so that way they're there and I don't have to worry about buying, selling, etc. Because when I only have like one copy of a card, like I don't want to get rid of it. Like I don't want to not have an Elsa in my collection. The prominence of it, right? The first chase card, but then in combination, it just means a ton to us. And so, I struggle with like, all right, I need to just go out and get all these cards, but then at the same time, I'm like, no, I don't, like, right. And so once again, I always fall back to the don't rush it. Don't get too excited. Take your time. Nothing ever is as good or as bad as you think it is, right? But I just think that it's, the whole premise of the main video that was supposed to go out today was just talking about going through, the different sets and how times change and where we sit right now. But I think that it's just interesting, in a time where I am feeling just the most excited I have ever felt about Lorcana, with the like Lilo and Stitch gift box, Arcasia's Island being an amazing set, the Tamatoa, the Enchanted, like the entire Enchanted roster of the set. Like, I am as energized and as charged up to be a Lorcana collector as I ever have been. Like I that Lilo and Stitch gift box like is an amazing product. And so like there's just like so much going for it, and I feel so grateful that I'm here, and I feel so confident about the future. Now, once again, things are never as good as I think they are, right? And so I keep that front of mind, but I just feel like off the back of whenever we get some Worlds announcements, whenever we get some DLC announcements, whenever we get some additional art tiers, and, the booster pack experience is a little bit better when it comes to opening for collectors, we get Pixar in 2026, like, it truly is just a powder keg. And like, people think that, that's obviously a very, we're talking about like 8 people from a Twitter poll. People think that, Lorcana is not going to be around for its 3-year anniversary. It's like, those people just don't get it, right? They're like stuck too much in like, oh, the meta stinks, or, they need to communicate something and all this stuff. Like, it's all just noise. Like, those things need to be addressed, right? And they will in time, but it's not something that, like, this game is going to go extinct because we don't know about Worlds yet. Like, and I feel like some people really feel that, and it's like, man, your head's in the sand, brother. Like, you're getting lost in the sauce. So I try to avoid the noise, focus on, the signal, and the signal is telling me that Lorcana is primed to just be a mainstream collectible for a very long time. And some of these cards, like I said, I don't have a D23 2022 Mickey. Now, I prefer the 2024 art better. I think it's a vastly significant, more aesthetically appealing card. But the first Mickey has a ton of provenance, a very much more valuable, like collectible, right? More valuable in terms of just like rarity, provenance, etc. So that's a card like I don't have, and it's not at the top of my goal list, despite it fits a lot of the criteria that I look for in a card, but it's just not on the top of my list. But it is a card that I want to own, right? And if the collector, market just doubled or tripled over the next 2 to 3 months, like I could easily be priced out of this card. Card could easily become like a $5,000 card over the next year, and then I won't own it, right? And so that would stink. And so that's where part of me is like, all right, I've got to get these cards, but then once again, you just counterbalance it. You take a step back, you set your goals, you go on your defined path, right? What brings you joy, what you're going to love adding to the collection. And so that's, I maintain down that path. But it's just, it's a very interesting, moment in time where I could not be more excited about the future of Lorcana as a pure collector, right? And just the experience they deliver. And then, I get on Twitter and I see someone asking like, hey, is it going to be around for another year? And I'm just like, what? Like, are we living in the same universe, the same world? So it's just it's a crazy thing, these trading card games. I could not feel better about Lorcana. I am as energized and excited as I am today as I have ever been. I have goals, very, big goals for the collection. I'm doing all sorts of stuff behind the scenes in terms of like sketches and autographs and things like that. I love the new sets, the new products. Like, I don't know. I think they're doing an amazing job, and I think it's only a matter of time until the narrative switches amongst the current TCG enthusiasts. You ask a Pokemon collector, or so, just anyone amongst One Piece, Pokemon, Magic, in terms of like the big four of, ask them about Lorcana, and they're probably going to poo-poo it. They're probably going to say that, oh, Lorcana's not doing very good. I see their product on the shelves, right? Like, the narrative is that Lorcana, once again, is like the redheaded stepchild. No offense to my genders out there, but like that's the sense that I get. But once that narrative shifts and their favorite creators begin to buy into Lorcana and all this stuff, like the prices that you see now are just, they're not going to last. And so I'm just grateful that I'm here now. Now, obviously, I'm not getting overextended based on when you look at some of the listings, like all of these, like I don't have a sealed case of Shimmering Skies. There's only 13 out there, right? Now, obviously, there's plenty available, right? It's not a rare box by any means, but like there's not that many. And then Stockholm, which I'll do a video on this at some point this week, but like Azurite Sea only has 9 cases on the market. Like, this might be the least printed set ever in existence in Lorcana, up there with Azurite Sea. We have seen a significant shift off the back of Shimmering Skies. Really, Inkland's and Ursula's Return, but partially Shimmering Skies into Azurite Sea. I think that there's just not a lot of Azurite Sea out there, and there's just so much stuff. Like, I've mentioned many times that I have multiple sealed cases of the first chapter. I see that as, I have one for my collection that'll just never get open and it'll be there forever, as just a moment in time, a thing that I spent $600 on, which at the time was, insane. They just reprinted it. People were doom and gloom about Lorcana. A lot of people were very excited, right? Like myself. But I paid $600 for that box, and that was one of the first like really big purchases I made in the trading card game world. Now, as I continue to get more experience and dive deeper and deeper, I spent a lot more money than that. But at the end of the day, that first box was a big purchase for me, and like, so that box, it holds a ton of sentimental value. It'll be with me for a very long time, right? And so I want one so I can kind of have that reminder of like that, at the time that I bought that was like a huge decision. And then I have a couple others that I'll be selling at some point, right? Maybe I'll keep one and sell it in 20, 30 years. Maybe I'll sell one in 5 years. Who knows? I don't know. I know they're not going anywhere right now. They're bubble wrapped, side sealed, put away. It is what it is. But like, I want to have these cases as moments in time. Like the Floodboard I already missed. Like I had Floodboard cases and I opened them, and I was smart enough to not open the first chapter. But now Floodboard's at $850 for an English case, and I'm not going to pay $50 for it right now, right? And so I've already been priced out of it. Things like Arcasia's Island, it's already at $600. This is not even a month after release, right? So I've like $600 for a case. I just bought one for $400 2 weeks ago. What are we talking about, right? Like these prices are accelerating so fast, and there's so finite amounts of, you look at Shimmering Skies, even Ursula's Return, Inklands, Azurite Sea, like even Inkland's only 13 cases on the market, right? Like they're putting these freaking boxes in $5 bin stores. Like, Some of this stuff is just getting insanely scarce, and it's off the back of just pure organic growth. And I just feel like, this powder keg moment is going to happen over the next, 6 to 9 months. And a lot of my goals that I have, like, there's a good chance that I never complete them. Now, look, I'm here for the long term. I'm going to continue to buy and collect Lorcana for years and years and years to come. I'm at the fortunate spot where, as Lorcana came out, I was my oldest daughter was prime princess age, like going through all the different Frozens and Encantos, and her whole personality was like formed around these princesses, and role playing and wearing the costumes and whatnot. And then I have my son now, who will be 4 in June, going into he'll be 4.5 hopefully whenever we get some sort of like Pixar set, and get like Toy Story and things like that. Like, I'm gonna, like, dude, we're gonna, like, right now my daughter's my only kid that has a binder, right? Because my son, I've famously shown that card multiple times, that, like, he's bit, like, the dude, like, he's just a diva, like, he can't be around cards right now. But in a year from now, maybe he can, and we get the Buzz and Woody set. That's gonna be like an amazing time for me as a father, sharing that experience with my son. And then I also have my youngest daughter, who's 9 months old, right? She's gonna be going through all the costumes and fairy tales and moments that my oldest daughter did, right? So, like, I've got like a good, like, 6 to 8 years trajectory where, like, I'm gonna have these experiences with my kids, and assuming Lorcana's gonna be around, like, I'm gonna be around for a very long time. Like, this is not a short-term project for me by any means. Like, it is consumed a lot of my hobby time, and I get so much fulfillment and joy out of this trading card game, which I never would have thought of, right? When we started Lorcana, I literally just got a couple packs on a whim because my friends were talking about it, and then everything changed, right? And so you fast forward a year and some change later, and we're in a completely different world. But I feel like, as we sit here on March 31st, my hour-long video is really just going through and cataloging, like, here's prices are at, like, right now, right? Like, and here's the sentiment around the cards, and the market's driven by like 90 to 95% players. Like, the amount of collectors here just is nothing when you think about how many collectors will come from the Disney IP and will come from other TCGs. If you have a connection to Pikachu, you probably have a connection to Aladdin or Lion King, Simba, right? Or you name it, whatever, Winnie the Pooh, Mickey Mouse, name your Disney IP, you probably have a connection to those as well, right? So, like, this TCG and this IP, it's built off the back of an amazing game. They've navigated this world of launching a new trading card game and going worldwide in 18 months amazingly well. And I just feel very, very grateful that I'm here. And I'm feeling very, very grateful that you guys, I have like over 1,500 subscribers now, which is wild to me. Like, I started this channel because no one was talking about collecting Lorcana. Like, no one was really doing a deep dive like I wanted to. Like, no one, like, on the Pokemon side of things, you have all these awesome collectors, like, everyone reveres, rightfully so, like I do. Like, Rusty with TCA Gaming, or Charlie Herlocker, or SM Pratt, these guys who have thought deeply and have this long-standing connection with the brand and with the collecting of the trading card game. And they're all, like, sharing their thoughts and discussing it and just prognosticating about what might be to come. And, like, no one was doing that with Lorcana, right? So I just kind of started doing that because I knew that I wanted it, and that means someone else probably did too, right? And I hope that my channel encourages other people to start doing something similar, right? You don't have to do exactly what I do, but find your own niche, right? And begin doing it, because this is not who I am in my personal life. I'm not posting to Facebook and posting to Instagram and racking up likes and all that stuff. Like, it's not me. It's not who I am. But when it comes to Lorcana, it is who I am, right? And I saw that no one was doing it, and I felt like there was a need there, and so I started. And hopefully it continues to grow, and more people begin to collect, and they can find our channel. I love in Discord when people share their pulls and their new, like, sketches they get and stuff like that. Like, it brings me so much joy. I'm like a kid, right? Like, this is my Pokemon. I just get giddy when I see that stuff. The art is amazing. The IP is tremendous. Like, they're just doing a great job, right? And so, the people who think that it's not going to exist in another year on that poll are just absolutely, it's mind blowing to me, right? And everyone has their own opinion, and I can't see the future, but sheesh, if anything that that we're seeing right now is a sign of what's to come, we ain't seen nothing yet, right? And so, I'm maintaining, I'm being absolutely as aggressive as I can and completing these goals and setting up, me and my kids and my wife for success as it relates to collecting Lorcana, because I know that we're in a very unique opportunity, in my opinion, and everything that, literally, like, if I had to put together like a roadmap of what I thought would happen with Lorcana, like it's pretty much gone exactly as according to plan. Now, in terms of like exact timings and things like that, sure, I can't see the future, but I'm as excited and as convicted as ever. So you get the dumbed down 20-minute version of my hour-long rant. Hopefully that was enough today. I'm glad I decided to push record because I was very much on the fence of just going another day without posting here. But please let me know your thoughts in the comments and kind of use this as a mini, like, it to, on this day. Like, what do you think the next year or 2 years or 3 years looks like for Lorcana? Do you think it's going to make it to the 3-year mark? Do you think that it's just doomed? The poor communication from Ravensburger, the lack of organized play, the poor game development in terms of the meta being dominated by Sapphire Steel, like, do you fall within one of those categories and that's why you think it's not going to make it? Or are you as giddy and happy as me and, ready to share these experiences with your family and your inner, child, right? Like, I don't know. This TCG industry is just absolutely exploding with like GameStop and Pokemon and Magic and One Piece and all these awesome games are doing so well. The rip and ships you can't get on social media without seeing some pack being opened. Deep Pocket Monster Pat Flynn. I saw some DJ at this music festival playing the "Should I open it or should I keep it sealed?" to like a rave of like 20,000 people, and he's opening a Pokemon pack. Like what? Like, this stuff is like the TCG world. I feel like it's just I don't know. It's insane and it's so much fun, and I'm just grateful for being here, and I'm just having too much damn fun to give it up anytime soon. So with that being said, guys, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you all being here. Please let me know your thoughts on will Lorcana make it to August 18th, 2026. I say absolutely, hell yes. There's not a doubt in my mind that they don't. Lorcana's not going anywhere. We're just getting started. I'm so excited to see everyone's collection grow, see more collectors come in, the discourse of collecting grow as a whole. I cannot wait, guys. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back with another video soon. Goodbye.